Yo, hello everyone. Can anyone confirm is my voice audible and the screen is visible or not? So we may continue then.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so recently I sent a setup on EuroCAD and it actually turned out to be negative in results. So I was anticipating for EuroCAD to drop more, but instead it's rallied up on the lower time frame. So definitely when we have losses, we tend to learn from them instead of just grieving about them. So I will talk about the things which I was looking previously and the things which I'm looking right now after the setup has failed, and just to look at that where was I wrong actually. So previously um, this was the mega distribution right there, and yeah, you can write this one. Okay, so this was a mega distribution which was on monthly time frame, and the price was in the markdown phase. So right there, the price was clearly in a downtrend. The structure break was to the downside, and I was considering these lows like a proper liquidity sweep of that. But what I noticed is that the price actually grabbed that low. Like if you observe, the price has grabbed these lows already from this bullish candlestick right there, this wick right there. So yeah, and secondly, if you observe, the momentum was kind of getting weaker and weaker, which is kind of more visible on weekly time frame. So yeah, that's it for the monthly. Like the price has kind of stopped under these lows, and it's kind of mitigated this little order block right there. So yeah, that was on the monthly. But let me just go to the weekly, and here you will be able to see is that the price was having a good momentum, but it actually was starting to get weaker and weaker as price was pushing downside, because we have kind of consolidation right there. This was a good momentum. Price did a final wave to take out these lows, and ideally, as price is pushing downside, we are expecting a retracement of that as well. So yeah, that was kind of a mistake. Like the prices really went downside, and maybe a little bit of retracement was good. But that's not the thing which was kind of where I was wrong. This is like these monthly and weekly time frames are something which gives you a very high time frame direction. But let me just go to the daily, and here you'll see the difference. Like where was I wrong? So this was the setup, like right there I said like the price should be going to the downside. But if I just uh, hide these, so can you see like how price did the SC phase right there, AR, SD, UA, and the spring phase? Like price really did a fake out of this and close above the in the trading range. And secondly, if I just make that visible, we have a clear liquidity area to target. So I'm really not sure what I was looking at the uh, EuroCAD on daily time frame, but I was just kind of looking to sell, which I was pretty much wrong, because as I said, like I did some extremely stupid mistakes on this setup, because that was clearly a accumulation zone version right there, because price closed in the range. Price was kind of doing a test phase where we just look for a low jump confirmations where we like to enter the trade. I got the low time frame confirmation, but instead of just going with the longs, I said like it should be selling, which I don't know why I did that. And previously, I have did like several videos on EuroCAD high time frame, the analysis. This was a redistribution phase as well. this was the huge at the test phase, and I pretty much expected the price might be returning to this level right there, because this is the last supply and control. So I was pretty much expecting price to retrace back. Maybe I sent it like 2 weeks ago. I sent again a video on Eurocare, but as I said, like I really don't know why I was looking to go downside, because it was a clear accumulation, and for this one, I'm expecting price to do a tap in this area for the last uh, point of supply right there. Okay, so moving down to the entry, which was based on 45 minutes. Okay, so yeah, as I said, like I really tend to wait for a fractal accumulation zones. Within the accumulation, like we have the accumulation on daily time frame, and this was I was looking for a distribution, a redistribution schematic on the lower time frame test region. But if I had, just waited for price to do a proper swing, I might have capitalized all this move if I was not stupid enough to do that. But it happens. I considered this, region, this consolidation to be a redistribution phase. This was the test, and I was expecting price to unfold the last point of supply point right there. Maybe in this favorable gap or this audible, but it was pretty much wrong. When price closed, immediately back in the range, I should have, kind of changed my bias because of this immediate closure in the range. And if I had kind of clearly saw the daily schematic, but yeah, it happened, and I took a loss right there. Now let me just go to my entry time frame. I was looking at the entry on this one. So it was pretty much this way. Yeah, it was pretty much kind of this way. I was looking at this way. So price at this point took out this high and mitigated this order block right there, because if you see, we have the liquidity, we have the break of structure and the imbalance. So this was the extreme order block where price kind of tapped in right there. But the mistake which I did right there is that, like, you can see how many times price has already tapped that. And I mentioned this, that if price is really tapping the supply demand zone, it just makes them weaker and weaker as time passes by. So we have clearly like 5, such as 6, 7, 8, and yeah. So I depended on that. I didn't really observe this thing as well when I was trading. Like, as I said, extremely stupid mistakes, and like not a single mistake, but too many mistakes on this setup. I just waited for this candle to close. I entered here. I aim for this low to target, and according to that, I placed my stop loss like 1 ratio uh, 4 trade was kind of like right there, and I eventually got stopped, or like not even hitting 1:2. So yeah, that was a mistake on EuroCAD. But if I talk about the further anticipation on EuroCAD, then I am now pretty much bullish on this. I would be kind of waiting for another pullback, uh, printing out the last point of supply again, support, sorry, because this is an accumulation now. So last point of support right there, and if I want to do the swing trade, then as I said, like this liquidity target is kind of really great, and I sent a schematic in the channel, like if there was a liquidity target, like I sent another example based on the regions, like these kind of zone, but uh, that schematic was based on any type of liquidity web, but I didn't want you to confuse you guys. So this is something which could be used as a target as well. So if I uh, you know if I just wait for price to come back and brings out any other accumulation on the lower time frame, then I would try to enter with a kind of stop loss bigger than usual, because I would be aiming for this zone, because that would be a kind of a swing trade. So yeah, so now let's just move on to the AUD CHF. Okay, so right here, I sent analysis and price was kind of right there, and I was expecting price to drop because this is more like a redistribution phase. Okay, so I was expecting price to do that. Now recently, on 15 minutes, I am observing uh, a redistribution phase right there. Okay, redistribution. This being the UCAD and this the side of weakness. So I'm expecting price to um, take out these highs, eventually this one as well, and again come back within the range and close, like for example, just like this price to do a push up and immediately closing back within the range. So at that point, I'll ensure placing my stop loss above the high which was recently created, and definitely aiming for 1:4, because this is my lower time frame confirmation. And if I move to where like price is kind of really downtrended, and the distribution is like kind of here, and we have um, retail support target as well, like according to the setup which I sent, like if there is retail support and you are seeing a redistribution schematic or a distribution schematic, then you can capitalize on that target, like just below this retail support. So we have the retail support, we have the redistribution schematic. So if price goes up and goes back within the range, that would be just my entry and placing my stop loss above and aiming for below that the support. And obviously this is not against my high time frame, because on the high time frame I am already seeing a distribution, and I sent a setup right there when price did a fake out right there and closed. So I was expecting price to drop kind of all the way below that, but as that would be a swing trade, but we are focusing on the kind of the intraday setup, then that is point below that point is kind of good one. So yeah, that's my anticipation on ADCHF. So and that's kind of all for this Zoom Google Meet session. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Hello, Flint. I have a question, please.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sorry. Please, this is my first time of joining your Zoom class, or your Google Meet.
Okay.
Please, I want to ask you, what do you use as your confirmation entry before you take a trade? Because I find it hard, getting confirmation entries, or if I'm waiting for confirmation, price is to leave me at maybe the UTAD or the test of the UTAD or maybe the last point of supply. Price always leaves me. I don't know what to do. How do I get a confirmation entry, please?
Okay, so I don't know if you have watched kind of my previous recordings or not, but basically my entries are similar to Wyckoff. Like everything is based on Wyckoff. So for example, this is our high term frame. This is our high time frame, and we have the UTAD. Okay, so there are three areas from where I would like to enter, and that is this UTAD, that is this the test phase, and that is this last point of supply. So on high time frame, if price is in either of these areas, okay, for example, if price is right there and is pushing up, so I would jump down to the lower time frame. If price is here, right, if price is here and it's pushing up, then I would jump down to the lower time frame. And if price is right there and it's kind of, I'm expecting the fake out of that range, I would jump down to the lower time frame. And after jumping down to the lower time frame, what exactly I would see is the same thing, the same Wyckoff uh, schematics on lower time frame. So for example, if this is the region, and price is right there, and consider, like, just for the sake of example, this is a 4 hour time frame. Okay, on 4 hour time frame, we are observing a distribution schematic. So we jump down to maybe 15 minute, 5 minute, okay, and we wait for another fractal distribution. Okay, so on a fractal distribution, when price is kind of doing this this consolidation on lower time frame, and it goes up and close below the range, I just insert the trade right there, placing my stop loss there, or depending where our target should be. Like, it's just simple as that. Like, uh, if I miss the the spike or the first entry, then definitely wait for the price to do the test phase, and if it close with a bearish volume, then I again enter the trade, placing my stop loss again above this high, because I'm not trusting this high, because maybe price might have a reason to come back and mitigate any order block shit right there. So if I just miss this entry, like, if price goes up close back within the range and I am unable to enter the position, then I wait for a test phase, and if I see a good bearish volume, then I enter trade right there, placing my stop loss here, and aiming for 1/4 as usual. So basically, my high time frame confirmations are Wyckoff, and my low time frame confirmation is the low Wyckoff. And as I said, like, right there, this here right there, just a second. So yeah, as I said, like, we are kind of in a redistribution phase, right? So we have a view that right there, and we are expecting a test phase right there, and from test phase, basically this is more like the other setup which I sent in the channel. Like, when we have the retail support, stuff like that, we tend to enter the market, taking out, like, aiming for these lows for the market to take off. But the scenario is pretty much same. Like, we have the higher time frame consolidation, and we have the low time frame confirmation as well. Now, ideally, if I was on the chart and if I was observing things, then I would have entered the position right there, okay? But and placing my stop loss above this and aiming for 1/4 trade, okay? But as I was not on the charts and I missed this entry, so I'm just waiting for price to do a test phase, and if price closes back with a good bearish volume, then I would just enter the trade, right? As I just explained previously, like a few minutes ago. So yeah, if I was active right there, I would have just entered the trade right there. But as I missed that, I'm just waiting for a pullback, basically the test phase, and I would just enter that. I hope that clears. Any other question, guys? Okay, so um, I'll just conclude the video here. So thank you for joining this session.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys.